Good afternoon. It is Good Friday on this 25th day of April 2016. I beg your pardon. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sophia Wanuna. It's in fact the month of March. I'm 1 month ahead. Delighted you're with us this afternoon. Let's get started with our top story today. And it's time of the year when many people throughout turn to chocolate, egg hunts, bunnies, but most importantly, the resurrection of Jesus, and for many the fast holiday weekend of the year with 4 straight days of work will also be appealing. Now, during this Good Friday or Holiday Friday, the Christian community in Kenya spend most of their mornings in church as they remember the day Christ was crucified. In Nairobi's Holy Family Basilica Church, a procession crowd walks to mark the beginning of the long 4-day Easter weekend. For the Catholic culture, processions are an intimate part of the spiritual life which dates back to Jewish roots. Catholic processions are a type of pilgrimage fast undertaken by the Jews to represent important historical events, in this case Easter. County Christians held a procession to mark Good Friday. Speaking to faithfuls in Nyeri, Archbishop Peter Cairo talked about unity. He referred to the recent Brussels attack and called on Christians to live in harmony irrespective of their faith. To cross the Machakos country bus, where Nicholas Wambua is covering the transportation situation today, where Kenyans traveling to. Are there many people there? Nicholas, good to see you. Good afternoon. Talk to us about what's happening right now. Nicholas? All right, we appear not to be getting through to Nicholas Wambua, but he's at the Machakos bus station. We're of course covering transportation. Usually these long holidays see very many people leaving town, some to up country to visit their loved ones, and various other festivities happening. Usually a buzz of activity there. So as soon as we have our connectivity set, we will go back to Nicholas for an update. But hundreds gathered in Sydney this morning to witness a reenactment of scenes from the crucifixion of Jesus in a religious performance marking Good Friday. Actors from the Wesleyan Mission performed a stage show for the crowd gathered in central Sydney before Jesus, played by a Brendan Paul, carried his cross through the city's streets. Easter celebrations for Christians are expected to continue all weekend, culminating in traditional Easter Sunday services around Australia. All right, we want to move on to another story here where the Cabinet Secretary Tourism, Kenya's tourism industry is among the top 5 revenue earners for the country. The sector generated close to 90 billion shillings for Kenya. Although the tourism industry remains a key economic mainstay, all has not been well with the sector. The industry has faced a slump in arrivals. Newly appointed CS Naju Balala spoke to KTN and he says it will not be business as usual. Focus, according to Balala, will be in improving the infrastructure, marketing Kenya on a global stage through innovative campaigns as well as tapping into emerging markets.
Well, first of all, I'm humbled to have been appointed back to this ministry. This is my passion as well, and I value this appointment by the President, and I'm going to put everything to these efforts to make sure we recover the industry. We did very successful programs in 2008, and that's why we had records in terms of arrivals in 2011, 2012. But this time, in the last 100 days, what we have done is that we have done the framework of incentives where we can have more foreign tourists coming into the country. One is the charter incentive program, because Mombasa and the coast has suffered with 30,000 loss of jobs. Hotels have closed. So to spur the economic development in the coast, we decided to support the charter program, and we give incentives to those charter programs. And then we also look at the safari circuit, where we have realized we have overpriced ourselves in the national parks and reserves. And we successfully discussed with Kenya Wildlife Service. The President intervened, and we have agreed now from 1st of July there will be no VAT on park entry fees, and now we have reduced from $80 to $70, and by 1st of July it will be $60. So that's another incentive so that we can have our parks be affordable. And then the third thing is visas for children under 16. That also makes Kenya to be a friendly to family tours and trips. So that's also a major breakthrough. And I appreciate the Ministry of Interior and Immigration Department who have cooperated to this. There have been several issues that were analyzed during the task force report of 2013. That task force report has been out for the last 1 year. So we look at the issue that needs to be addressed. And among them, or most of them, are the ones which we have just addressed within 100 days. So I'm happy and satisfied that quite a number that touches the industry and incentive to bring back tourism have been addressed by the government. I believe these incentives in the next 2 years will have a quick recovery program. If we didn't have these incentives, we will take longer to recover. I believe by 2018, mid-2018, we will have recovered fully to the numbers that we were in 2011. I believe this country has much more to offer than just beach and safari. The diverse products, that is sports tourism, cultural tourism, conferencing, we have done very well. In 2014, our conferencing arrivals were 44,000. In 2015, there were 77,000. So you could see the scope of opportunity in conference tourism. And this year, with the conference of UNCTAD and TCAD and the other major conferences, internationally government but private sector, we believe the figure can go up to 100,000 in terms of conference 2016. The opportunities are there. The only thing is that we need to improve three major things. One is security, two is infrastructure, and three is a product. In terms of security, the government has invested heavily on the security sector. We have invested over 200 billion Kenyan shillings. That's almost 15% of our expenses of government. We have bought new vehicles, 2,500 vehicles, 10,000 recruits, more equipment, armored equipment for the police. So, and training, capacity building in terms of addressing the issue of terrorism and other crimes. So we've invested enough, or a lot, again, in security. The second one we've invested is, as government, we've invested in infrastructure, which is the roads, particularly in the coast, which have been neglected, and for a long time no investment has been done in infrastructure. The issue of the ferry and its efficiency, the Premier visited there, took action. There's been improvement in terms of efficiency. The government is now going to buy 2 new ferries by end of this year, and then a plan for a long-term solution, which is a bridge, is being designed currently. And then also the most important road that is hampering the safari circuit is the Narok Masai Mara road. which again, the dispute about who is supposed to invest into it, we have resolved with the Ministry of Transport that the government will do it, and then those other issues will be resolved later. Because that is a main entrance into the national park, and we know Masai Mara is an important national park. But also we want to invest much more in other infrastructure for the country to be efficient. The flyover from the airport to Westlands, that the process is confirmed, and the project should start this year. I've discussed with the minister in charge of transport and roads. He has confirmed to me that. The issue of the SGR, which is the railway, that's also going to bring a lot of efficiency in public